have a question about asking for help.
Yes.
Uh, and so this is a bit of a flip side because, on the one hand, I love to help other people. I get a lot of pleasure from it. I feel good about myself. So maybe there is no such thing as altruism, and that's fine. I have a very difficult time asking for help.
Yeah.
I will try to figure something out on my own. That it's that lie, right? You're on your own, that separate lie. I will try to do something because I feel like I am burdening someone. I am inconveniencing someone to take time out of their, very busy and important life to try and figure out something or try to, help me with something.
Yeah.
So why is it so hard to ask for help when clearly we derive so much pleasure from helping others? Why do we have that paradox, at least in our minds?
It's because of old habit. It's because asking for help proves that you're not good enough. It shows that you haven't been able to hack it by yourself. Asking for help violates that you do everything by yourself, as you mentioned. And asking for help violates that you are able to go out and pursue your goals and do it independently. So at every stage, it goes against our conditioning. Everything that we've been told will make us happy. And so we think, okay, if I don't ask for help, then it will be more likely to make me happy, when really the opposite is true. And what I would say because I know that you're not alone, I think people struggle so much with this. Ask somebody for help, you're helping them because you're giving them a chance to experience happiness. You are giving them an opportunity to feel more joy, to feel a sense of self-esteem, to have a greater purpose in life, to strengthen your connections with them. Because what are relationships without helping? Like, what are they without that act of giving and receiving? If you have a friend and you never let them in, you never tell them what's going on, you never ask them for advice, you never ask them to pick you up and drive you to an appointment, you never lean on them in any way, how rich do you think that friendship will be? Like, the quality of our relationships is determined by the ways in which we are willing to be vulnerable and ask for help and to give help in return. So if you are refusing to ask for help, it's not your fault if you find it hard, but it is our responsibility to overcome it, because that's what will allow people to experience happiness in their lives.
Yeah, it's this concept around, you talk about this, like this ecosystem versus the ego system. I often like to think about it as, are we self-made or are we community-made? Greats like Arnold Schwarzenegger has said things like, the only reason why I'm successful is because I've been able to stand on the shoulders of giants, right? So talk a little bit about the difference between an ego system and an ecosystem, or, I frame it slightly differently, like self-made, community-made.
I love your framing. The idea that anybody could be self-made is patently ridiculous, because
it's false.
It's so false that I could spend an hour ranting about how false it is. Like, who made you? Was it your parents who raised you and fed you and nurtured you and got you to school on time? Was it the teachers who taught you all of your classes? Was it the friends who encouraged you to discover your strengths? Was it the first boyfriend or girlfriend that you had and the way that they helped you to blossom into yourself? Was it your college professor or your first boss, or the culture that you've immersed yourself in, or the people who you follow online, or the books that you've read, or the television that you've watched? You are made. You are made by all of that. I've never done a single thing in my life by myself. Not one. And I never will. And the more that I acknowledge that, the happier I become, because there's so much pressure off. There's so much relief in going, I don't have to do this by myself. And in fact, I never have done anything by myself. It's all a lie. It's sort of like this mirage that has never really existed that we have to wipe away. And there's so much strength in acknowledging that your community is what made you, because why would you not want to share the fruits of your success with all of the people who contributed to it? Why would you not want to elevate the fact that you had a fourth grade teacher who encouraged you to do something, and then you've carried that with you for your whole life? We are made by the words and the gestures and the offers that other people have provided to us. And acknowledging that is not weakness, it's strength, because it shows just how much goes into making one person.
Right. It takes a village, as they say.
Yeah, exactly.
You talk about in your quest to shed the old happy and in the new happy is to looking for ways that you can help. So there's three questions that you say: how can I help? Who helped me? And where are others helping? And those three questions have the power to make you and others happier every single day. So how can we look at each of these questions as a way to start understanding happiness?
It's sort of like my new shift on gratitude, like a new elevated version of gratitude, because that's really all gratitude is noticing what other people have contributed to you. But it's been washed down as to be like, oh, I'm grateful for my smoothie or whatever. I'm grateful for my success. And we've sort of lost the origins of gratitude, which is paying attention to the person who made your smoothie or who bought it for you or the people who contributed to your success. And so the first question is, where can I help? And that's about looking for moments in your day where you can contribute to other people's well-being. And that can be really small. It can be a text to a friend who's having a hard time, or checking in with a colleague who has a lot on their plate and seeing if there's anything you can do to help. Somebody's Instagram posts. Like, I can't tell you as a creator how much my day is made when people send me a nice comment, right? It makes a huge, huge difference. And they might not even know how much it means. Those moments provide so much for me personally and continue to fuel me to keep going. So thinking about those little moments. And then the second question is, where are others helping? So I am the beneficiary of all of these acts of help, like those comments, and I might miss them. I might not pay attention to them. I might take them for granted, unfortunately. So we have to open our eyes and look at all of the ways in which people are contributing to our well-being. That's what helps us to feel connected to the broader world around us. And then the third is, where are other people helping? So all around us, there are people doing good in the world who are showing up in their communities, who are making insightful pieces of work or contributing of their gifts and their talents, helping people who are struggling. And it's so easy to forget those gestures when everything that's in the news is so sad and so filled with things that are people doing that are hurting others. And so we have to really pay attention to those moments of good, to remember that the human race is full of beauty, it's full of goodness and kindness, and it's out there. We just have to start to notice it and pay attention to it.
Yeah, I think that's an important, I don't know if you intentionally meant to bring this up, but I feel like they never report on the planes that land. You know, like if you overly pay attention to the news, like it's just about grabbing your attention. Yeah. So they are going to try to hijack. It's like a race to the bottom of the brainstem.
So
it's
true.
Like, how are we going to hijack your fear centers?
Yeah.
And how are we going to keep your attention by making you think that there are threats? Now, I'm certainly not suggesting that there are not threats and there are not conflicts that are devastating. I am saying that your attention is the price. Your attention, like if you don't have to pay to watch the news, you are the commodity. You are the thing that they are trying to extrapolate and manipulate and control. And so, it goes back to that quote earlier that I read to you where it's like, imagine how much harder you would be to control if you were super happy with everything that you had. And if you were satisfied with your life, you're like, actually, I'm in heaven right now. This is perfect.
Totally.
I don't need anything else. You're much harder to control versus infecting you like a mind virus with the fear and the fear mongering. And like I said, this race to the bottom of the brainstem in order to keep your attention so that they can sell you things, their advertisers and all the things that the news sort of runs on. And there are some Instagram accounts, I will say, I think there's like Good News Movement and we'll tag them in the show notes. There are a couple of accounts that I follow that are just, man saves cat from a tree or, stuff where you're like, oh, reunited
moments
after.
Of goodness.
Moments of goodness where you're like, faith in humanity restored.
Exactly. Like, I think no one is saying that doesn't matter. Of course, we should be solving it and we should be paying attention to it. But we also have to make sure that we have the faith in humanity that motivates us, because unfortunately what I am seeing a lot of now is a great deal of cynicism and apathy of saying, we won't be able to fix this, we're too far gone, we're too screwed, we won't be able to help save our planet, we won't be able to solve these conflicts, there's nothing that we can do. And that mindset is going to make that a self-fulfilling prophecy.